On the highway, Wade Wilson ambushes Ajax and a convoy of his soldiers. Throughout the ambush, Wilson explains how he became Deadpool. Wade, a former Special Forces officer, began working as a mercenary in New York City 2 years ago. Wade received a dishonorable discharge as a Canadian Special Forces operator. He meets escort Vanessa in a local bar managed by his friend Weasel, and they develop a romantic relationship. Vanessa is a hooker, and they connect by vying to find out who had the worst childhood. Wade employs Vanessa as a prostitute, but then takes her to a fair to spend time together. 1 year later, Wade proposes to her, and she accepts, but he collapses unexpectedly. Wade receives a terminal lung cancer diagnosis, but he doesn't want Vanessa to witness his death. A recruiter from a covert program approaches Wade and offers him an experimental cure for cancer. The recruiter gives Wade unique powers and the opportunity to become a superhero. Wade initially resists, but ultimately decides to leave Vanessa and get the operation. Wade meets Ajax and Angel in a laboratory and immediately resents them. At the lab, Wade comes across numerous terminal patients who have undergone experiments with varying results and mutations. Ajax discloses that his lab receives private funding and operates independently from government oversight. Ajax and Angel were also patients. Ajax injects Wade with a medicine that activates dormant mutant genes. Everyone's reaction to the serum varies. Ajax gave him heightened reflexes and burned nerve endings, so he feels no pain. Then, in an unsuccessful attempt to induce stress and trigger the mutation, Wade discovers Ajax's true identity, Francis Freeman, and mocks him for it. Ajax reacts by strapping Wade inside an airtight container, which raises and decreases the oxygen level, keeping Wade on the brink of asphyxiation. He abandons Wade for the weekend, but not before revealing their true purpose: to create super-powered slaves for sale to affluent consumers. Wade develops a healing factor while inside the chamber, which cures his illness, but horribly disfigures him, leaving tumor-like scars all over his body. After breaking out of the chamber, Wade attacks Ajax, but retreats when reassured that only he can fix his disfigurement. Ajax subdues Wade, impales him with a rebar, and leaves him for dead in the blazing laboratory. The next morning, Ajax destroyed the lab, but Wade's healing skills allowed him to survive. Wade survives thanks to his new healing abilities and seeks to return to Vanessa. However, he is terrified of her suffering due to his appearance and avoids her. Wade, after consulting his best friend Weasel, resolves to track down Ajax and have his ugliness treated. He becomes the masked vigilante known as Deadpool and settles in Blind Al's, an elderly blind woman's home. Deadpool has a deadpan sense of humor and wears a red suit, as Al suggested, so that his enemies cannot see him bleeding. Over the next year, he interrogates and murders many of Ajax's accomplices, until one of them, the recruiter, reveals Ajax's location. Following a trail of leads, Deadpool pursues Ajax to a group of automobiles on a highway. Dopinder is a cab driver who befriends Deadpool as he travels. He kills all of the escorts, corners Ajax, and demands treatment for his deformities. 2 X-Men, Colossus, an X-Men who can morph his entire body into organic steel, and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, a teenage X-Men trainee who can generate atomic blasts from her body, interrupt the confrontation by attempting to recruit Deadpool to join them. Colossus claims that he has previously warned Deadpool about the reckless use of his talents. Deadpool refuses to go with Colossus. Ajax takes advantage of the diversion to flee. When attempting to fight Colossus, Deadpool becomes enraged and smashes his hands and legs. Colossus shackles Wade's wrist and begins pulling him away, intending to take him to Charles Xavier, or Professor X, at the X-Mansion. Deadpool rips off his hand and flees. His hand gradually regenerates overnight. Ajax understands that Wade will come for him after he heals, but he has little leverage against him. Ajax visits Weasel's tavern and learns about Vanessa. Weasel calls Wade to inform him that Vanessa is in danger. Wade travels to the strip club where she works, but he hesitates before confronting her. In the meantime, Ajax kidnaps Vanessa. In a scrapyard, he and Angel Dust invite Deadpool to join them on a disused helicarrier. Deadpool prepares to fight, but he knows he'll need assistance. Meanwhile, Ajax tells Vanessa that Wade is still alive and that he has kidnapped her due to his continued affections for her. Deadpool persuades Colossus and Negasonic to assist him, holding them accountable for enabling Ajax to escape, and the trio takes a cab to the scrapyard. While Colossus and Negasonic combat Angel Dust and a few soldiers, Deadpool fights his way through Ajax's minions and eventually confronts him. After Angel Dust defeats Colossus, Negasonic attacks her, but mistakenly destroys the technology that keeps the helicarrier upright. As the helicarrier tips over, Colossus transports Negasonic and Angel Dust to safety, while Deadpool rescues Vanessa. Ajax survives and assaults Deadpool, but loses the battle and reveals that Wade's disfigurement has no cure. Despite Colossus's concerns, Deadpool kills Ajax. Vanessa then lashes out at Wade for abandoning her, but she reconciles with him after seeing his deformed face and discovering the true reason he never returned to her.